Hi guys, welcome to another episode on Saree Jitta podcast. As usual, I'd like to open the interview today with one of my favorite quotes. When awareness is brought to an emotion, power is brought to your life. Tara Mayer Robson. Can you guess what we are going to talk today? We are going to talk about emotional intelligence, also known as emotional quotient or EQ. When it comes to happiness and success in life, EQ matters just as much as IQ. If you want to learn how you can boost your emotional intelligence, build strong relationships, and achieve your goals, make sure you stay until the end of this episode. Today's guest, she's an educator, well-being counselor, and a Reiki Master. She's also a co-leader of the Bangkok Women's Writing Group. She believes that our heart and mind is beautiful and has the ability to pen down our thoughts into wonderful writing. Please welcome Bhavna Khemlani.
สวัสดีค่ะ Saree, and thank you so much for having me here. So whoever's watching, hello to everyone. สวัสดีค่ะ to everybody, and of course, namaste. All
How are
right,
you today,
so
girl?
I'm good. I'm very good, actually. Just going with the flow and just letting it's like you have the pandemic and
Yeah,
there's so much of stress. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but we all are going through something or the other, right? But
yeah,
how do we still, have this management skills? We can't always just control our emotions all the time. But when we know how to do it, we can actually manage and we can actually help people around us as well.
yeah.
So before we talk more about that, hi guys, my name is Bhavna, and it is a pleasure to be here and to talk about something that I've done so much with my students and workshops and research work as well. So it is nice to connect with you, Saree, and with the audience to talk about something that is sensitive, so beautiful, but something so amazing. So I always believe that it's always important to to connect with the creative bridges and then
Yeah.
plunge into it and then see how it goes, because we can't always be very static and
Yeah.
then we're stuck. So, yes, thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, so Bhavna, before we dive into our questions, do you want to just tell our audience a little bit about yourself? How did you get into this field and what you do now?
Okay, so to be honest, I think um, when I started understanding my emotions, probably when I was a teenager, right? Because when I wasn't really sure what was going on, we are in this journey where we are always told what to do, how to think, what to do. It's like either you have your parents, either you have society, either you have your educators. And I learned how to manage my emotions while I was growing up and when I went to university. I must say that I got into this. I started meditation. I got this really deep calling. And a lot of these deep calling come from a lot of pain. It's not like you're at the beach and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this. It doesn't happen that way. There's always some kind of pain, there's some kind of unprogramming that the universe gives you the nudge, the pattern that, the repetitive pattern that makes you feel like, nah, I don't want to live like this. I don't want this. So, I got my calling around the age of 26.
Yeah.
And then I started meditation from then. Then I started doing Reiki towards a few years later. But as a writer,
Yeah.
um, and journaling, my I would say that a lot of creative flow like started like I continued like maybe like 15, 20 years ago, and there's so much of joy in that. So I would say that I started recognizing the creator within me, and this instruments that we have, our soul, and how we channel different roles played with it. So what happens is that I started teaching, obviously. So I teach for high school and undergrad students, and then writing, and then doing research. as well, and bringing awareness, but we're having like thorough research. And as a well-being counselor, is that I'm merging NLP, Reiki, and so many other things, and more importantly, human skills. So
Yeah.
these skills are, delivered even in the classroom. I must say that teaching undergrad students, I wouldn't say it's a piece of cake. I've changed so much in my life because of them. Also, because they have shared so much with me. You have management skills, leadership skills, organization skills, and how those things have actually catered to and accommodating to all these, different skills that brought me here to a journey of, just going with the flow, actually.
That's beautiful. Well, can you tell us a little bit what is emotional intelligence and how can it help us live have a happier life?
Okay, so emotional intelligence is basically understanding and the ability to know your own emotions, right? Because you're managing your own emotions. We know so many people around us that don't know how to manage. There's so much of reaction. Like there is a difference between responding and reacting, right? So I may be responding, but the person might be thinking I'm reacting.
Mm.
And emotional intelligence is you as a person has the intelligence to understand and become aware of your own emotions and also how you are reacting and how you are speaking to people. So it brings about self-awareness, it brings about self-management skills, social awareness skills, and relationship skills. And it makes you understand that as a parent, as a teacher, as a friend, when you're around, what kind of baggage are you carrying all the time, and what are you how are you reacting? And this is really essential, especially for working people too, because imagine when you're having meetings, you're brainstorming ideas. You have an angry boss all the time, or you have a boss that is just so assertive, always like to delegate and always telling people what to do. But what is very important is also supporting skills. How do you develop empathy skills? So emotional intelligence is really important. It's quite interesting, and I would say also in the crazy times, that we need to teach people and we need to make people understand about their own emotions and own skills. We have to teach them, hey, please be more caring, please be more kind, please don't, I'm not your punching bag, you don't have to react to me all the time. And this is really important because it's very important for relationships, any kind of relationship, whether it's at school, whether it's between colleagues and between other people, right? That's your external. But more importantly, yourself. How hard you become on yourself. What are your expectations? Once you know how to you understand this, you understand trigger points. You understand, okay, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to let go? So that's why emotional intelligence is really, really important.
So having an emotional, I mean, it's not a bad thing then, because like sometimes when we say the word emotion, people say, oh, you're too emotional. So it's not bad to express your emotion as long as you it's like as long as you, how do I say? So like emotional
I,
intelligence,
I
you know what I
understand what
mean?
you mean. Yes, I know. Okay, talking about that, you remind me, okay, men are told don't cry. Okay.
Yes.
How many men you meet and how many teenagers you see and people I know very closely. They're like, they see a guy, just being emotional and like, you dude, you're so emotional or crying. I mean, a guy is not carrying tissue paper with him and like, all over the place. But it is also okay if he's connected to his heart to show emotions. Because when you're being emotional, we're not talking about like an overly sensitive. You're actually connecting with your feminine energy, which everybody has. So you have your masculine and feminine energy. The men or the women, especially whose masculine energy is so high, and men who think that they cannot cry, they cannot show emotions, they don't want to care enough to care. They don't want to show love enough to show love. They don't want to have those empathy skills because they think it's weak, but it's actually a strength. Because when you're friends with someone, you care for them. You're not dictating. You're not showing. We don't show emotions. In the
Mm.
long run, in the future, the way they become parents, the way they manage their life in the later years, the blockage, the disconnect they have with from themselves and people around them is so deep that they actually have they can, and there is a possibility of not only sicknesses but also a disconnect with human beings,
Mm.
because everyone is changing, everyone is
Yeah.
growing, and these people, like this group of people, are so adamant that no, that's a woman's job, I'm not doing this. But we have this whole group of people who are growing and flourishing and tapping into that, like, I can't remember his name right now, but he just he was the actor of James the Virgin. Okay, James the
Mm.
Virgin. Yeah, he released a book. Okay, and he was like about being a man, being a man enough. You can check into that, and it's such a beautiful book because it is trying to show men how to connect with their energy, especially fathers
Yeah.
who have daughters, and how are they raising them? What are
Mm.
they telling them? And also with the educators who are men, uh, bosses who are men. We are surrounded by patriarchy. We are surrounded by all these people who just don't give women so much chances, you see. So
Mm.
how they can connect with it, but emotions are fine. It's okay. I think it's such a beautiful release that
Mm.
sometimes when you're in pain,
Yeah.
and even when you're happy, you have
Yeah.
tears of happiness, you're releasing that, and you understand people. I think it's
Mm.
okay. It's nothing
Yeah.
bad with emotions.
I think it's better than you suppress your emotion and then, because I used to be like that, and then one day just out of nowhere explodes. So is there a way that you can express your emotion like in a healthy way? Hi guys! If you like this episode, I'm sure you like some more inspiration, motivation, and empowered messages in my Superwoman private Facebook group. It's a community of like-minded women who share their stories, struggles, and wins so that we can help each other. If you're going through some difficult time right now, I want you to know that you're not alone. Come join us and be a part in our tribe. I'm going to leave the link in the below. Now, let's get back to the episode.
Okay, so what you can do is, um, in schools, for example, they're incorporating SEL. So social emotional learning is an academic, more academia kind of way, but social emotional learning is also emotional intelligence, which is the commercial and more out there. So 5-year-olds are being taught about appreciation, about gratitude, about handling responsibility, and emotional intelligence is important because we learn how to respect human beings, right? So how we can do this? We can journal our emotions. We can talk to people, right? You have to be careful, like who are you sharing with? Sometimes people are venting, or people are gossiping. There's a huge difference. And I would say that the first step for emotions is, when you know that you're not feeling good about something, talk to someone. But how you are talking to someone is also important. Are you lashing out at someone because you're going through something? But if you're not in that state of mind that you can't talk to people who are close to you, that's okay. Reach out to other people who you feel safe with, that you feel like you can talk with, you know? And also journaling. Journaling is beautiful. I know journaling can be, that could be another step for like meditation and stuff like that. But when you are actually connecting with your own emotions, you are trying to move inside out, right? So you are finding out what's going on. Usually in schools and in workplaces, in hospitals, they're having counselors now. They have a lot of that. So you can always talk to them. So talking helps, writing helps, and yes, if it is something that it's affecting your health, it's a stress level, and you can't take the stress at work, I've had some students who are working, of course, in the human resource and the management, and even young people. Their cortisol is increasing. So it's also because of the management, the time management of the work, because you're working from home. It's
Yes.
like you have to be available anytime, every time, and then you don't know how to manage, because you cannot tell your boss that, look, I can't do this. um, but the thing is, there has to be this breakthrough where I feel like it's getting a bit too much, and
Mm.
if you're my boss, I should be able to tell you about it. And there has to be this comfortable conversation where you should be able to accept that, not that I want to do it, but
Mm.
I don't know where to seek help. So schools are creating all kinds of fun and creative activity. So
Yes.
emotional intelligence doesn't have to be very boring. Do some
Mm.
fun things that connects with you. So many times people watch movies, and they're just watching a movie, and bang, there's this episode, there's this music, or even listening to music. So connecting with your emotions can be in so many ways.
Mm.
That movie, it was this animation, so beautiful, Inside Out. Do you remember Inside Out? I hope you have watched it. It's such a cute movie.
Okay,
Okay,
I have a
it's
look.
about, okay, there is this girl that she connects with her six emotions. Okay, and it's such a beautiful movie where they show different emotions in her head, and they're like having a conference. Okay, and each emotion, like anger, jealousy, sadness, that kind of stuff. So they were focusing on six emotions, and that actually helped a lot of people to especially young people, to connect with it. It's such a beautiful movie for like parents, teenagers, to understand that you it's about the brain. What is
Yeah.
going on in your brain? What are you learning there? What kind of memories are you storing? And why is it that your emotions are so important, and your experience is so important, but why not your friends, or why not
Mm.
your colleagues? This is the problem with emotional intelligence, that we think our emotions are more important than somebody else's, where everybody's journey and experience are so different,
Yeah.
that when we go to school, little kids need to be catered to. Oh, they are full of emotions, they show all their emotions.
Mm. Yeah.
They don't choose. If they're upset, they're angry, they just go ahead.
Okay, so I want to talk about how meditation can help us with emotional intelligence later. But can you tell us what is the difference between EQ and IQ?
Okay, so EQ, as you mentioned, is the emotional quotient, right, or EI.
Mm.
And IQ is basically the aptitude, the knowledge, all that information that you put in your brain, and the academic abilities, the mental challenges. So when you are having this huge conversation about common sense, general knowledge, mathematics skills, your aptitude, all that abilities that you can use that are more rational, more logical, is your
Mm.
IQ. So,
Okay.
so which side of your brain are you basically using, the left side or the right side? Because the IQ helps a lot with the left side.
Mm.
What is your left side of the brain? Is it more creative, or is it more emotional? Is it more, logical? So we need to understand which side of the brain we are using.
So let's say one person can have um, IQ more than EQ, whereas another person.
Yeah,
So,
yes, yes,
okay.
yes, yes, definitely. Definitely, because let's say you could be amazing with numbers and math and physics and chemistry,
Mm.
and you can answer the IQ questions, even looking at geometrical or algebra, or so many things that show your IQ. But when it comes to emotional intelligence, there are so many psychological questionnaires. There are, like, from Daniel to, I mean, there are just tons of questionnaires for emotional intelligence for different age groups. that are beginning to be utilized for education, so that the parents, the teachers, they would know about their kids. Like, do you know about yourself? How do you react?
Mm.
What kind of emotions you feel? Because when it comes to a lot of people, I do this with organizational behavior and human resource management sometimes, and a lot of undergrad subjects, that we try to understand whether we're using our left side of the brain or the right side of the brain more, and also connecting them with their own inner self, knowing about their meridian lines. I don't tell my class to meditate, but I just tell them to have like a, release stress, and they communicate a lot. So we've created that rapport in that sense, like they can talk about it. And
Mm.
it's important because even for NLP, uh, as much as you have NLP for selling, for understanding, but you need to understand: are you a kinesthetic person, audible, visual? you know and how can I connect with you? Am I a good listener, or am I just listening so I can just give you unsolicited advices?
So
So
between EQ and IQ, it has to be balanced. Shouldn't have like
yeah,
high or low. Okay.
yeah, no,
Should
yeah,
master both.
because yeah, also understanding that not every day is a great day, but that is the great day. That is the beauty of the day. Like the sun will rise, but then at the same time it gets cloudy. At the same time it's raining. Then it gets sunny again. It's the same thing with our life and emotions, right? There are a lot of things that are not very. They are flowing, but
Yeah.
they're not static. I can't say that I woke up with like a perfect day. I have to define what is perfect for me. But for me, perfect would be so boring for you, or for me, so boring could be perfect for you.
Mm.
Hypothetically. So I would have things that I'm doing. I'm so excited with creative stuff. I'm doing things. But
Yeah.
the thing is that we have to understand that it is okay not to
Mm.
have an adventurous and an exciting day all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I want to talk about meditation. Can you tell us a little bit more how meditation can help with our emotional intelligence?
Okay, so meditation is cool. There are tons and types of meditation, right? So we have mindfulness meditation, we have yoga meditation. Oh yes, we have chakra meditation as well, which we do for workshops.
Yeah.
And these are your chakras, right?
Oh,
And
wow.
then yeah, so you can actually go with the light
Yeah.
based on your aura,
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do that as well. You have spiritual meditation, you have silent meditation, you have kind and loving meditation, you have meditation with motion. Okay, so the thing is that a lot of people out there, they're like, let's meditate, but they don't really define what it is. They don't really say, okay, what kind of meditation are we going to do today? So for me, I would say meditation, definitely, research has shown that it decreases the cell proportion, the volume of your amygdala. You know what's an amygdala? Your amygdala is an almond shape that is near your brain, right? And what happens is that is responsible for your emotions, your fears, your pain, your insecurities. That is what happens. So when you're sad, when you're upset, it increases a bit.
Mm.
Okay. And then when you meditate, it helps decrease because you're reducing the cortisol. There is a
Mm.
relaxing. And when, let's say, if you're doing yoga meditation, then of course you have many kinds
Yeah.
because you're actually having movement, but you're also focusing on your breathing. So you have breathing meditation, you have chakra meditation where you invoke, you kind of, you know, visualize that there is the light, a certain color of light. Some people say white light, some people say purple light. It doesn't matter. What matters is what are you invoking and you're bringing in.
Mm.
Spiritual meditation is more about, there's no visualization, kind of, you just close your eyes and you allow yourself to just to go in so deep that you are basically having the bombardment of thoughts, of course, which is very natural. And then you come to the point of like calmness, but also you have focus meditation. where I'm telling you to focus on something.
Yeah.
And then you can focus on your third eye, or you can focus on your heart, which is a spiritual meditation, because we may not realize that, but our heart is the main portal. Your eye, third eye, your heart is the main portal where the connection of the meridian lines from the brain up to your feet, everything comes to the heart. So when you're meditating and you're like focusing on your heart, and you just remind yourself, right? You're having this affirmation and suggestion that divine light is already inside me. I'm just connecting from within. And then you just let go. Okay. Now you have visual meditation, you have mindfulness meditation, you have guided meditation,
Yeah.
you have meditation where it goes through a body scan. You can go through body scan. You can also visualize and remind yourself the source of Gaia energy, the earth energy coming through your toes and how you're feeling. But the interesting thing for visual meditation is that it allows a person to go on a journey. You know,
Yeah.
you're telling that person, even for TM, for transcendental meditation, right? They go in trance and everything. But the thing is that for the visual meditation, very good for children, very good for teenagers, because they need guided meditation. You're guiding them through on how to be calm, how to, so listening to high vibration music and nature's music. Nature is magic. Even going for nature's walking meditation is good. Yeah.
So what would you say is the best meditation for someone who just started to do meditation for like a beginner?
I would say start with guided meditation. Guided meditation, because I'm not telling you, okay, so it depends. There are many kinds of guided meditation, right? So
Yeah.
when you close your eyes, you have an affirmation and you close your eyes, right?
Yeah.
But you have guided meditation with mantras. So you're just saying Om, right? Om. You can say a mantra and chant with it, or you can do guided in the sense like you're visualizing that you're going into this forest with white light and the sound of nature's music. So when I say nature's music, it could be rain, it could be birds chirping, and you're just allowing yourself to dive into that.
Yeah.
Right. And it could be 5 minutes, it could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because until you are conquering and you're becoming so powerful, more and more powerful from inside to control your thoughts, that you are saying, okay, now I'm going to close my eyes and I'm just going to be within silence. So people who are starting, it is okay to go through guided meditations.
Yeah.
But when people tell them that, okay, close your eyes and imagine fairies, imagine imagine all these creative characters, I would say try not to play so much with creative characters. Because like sometimes children, when they close their eyes, they start thinking about, they start creating imaginary friends, they start, they become more creative, and then it's not becoming mindfulness, and they're like, oh my God, I saw this, I saw that. I'm like, where did you reach?
Yeah.
They're so creative, right? But yeah, I think nature is connecting with nature is always the best way to tap into, relaxation and clearing, because meditation not only reduces stress, when you are clearing things at cellular level, it changes your DNA. It changes the memory that is stored inside you that you might have been carrying from your ancestors.
Yeah.
Or even since you were a child. So it helps through that, and I think it is important to understand what you are actually doing to yourself, and maybe it helps you also. Not only that, but it actually creates this clarity, perspective, ability to manifest and redesign the destiny and your goals. So I think it's important.
Do you have any tips for someone who can't really sit still for like 2 minutes, because I got a lot of clients and then they say, oh, sorry, I can't even close my eyes, because like when I close my eyes, just kind of like my brain just keep thinking, and then it seems like I can't just sit still for 2 minutes, because I think people they're so used to just running, getting busy all the time, with the phone or social media or whatever. So when you tell them to just sit with
Sit
themselves,
still.
and just
And
they
then
can't do that.
they close their eyes and they have the to-do list.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you have any tips to, I don't want to say like stop
You can't
your
stop
brain?
actually. You
Yeah.
can't actually stop because your mind is so like that, right? But you have to tell yourself everything is okay, all is okay, right? I will do this, but I will do it maybe after 5 minutes. Allow myself 5 minutes to do. But the people who cannot really sit still, um, it could be because they're anxious, because they're having some kind of issue. Like for kids who have ADHD, they're hyperactive. People who are always on top of their toes and they just cannot sit still. They're
Yeah.
thinking of what to
Yeah.
do next. Also, the people who are emotional and they close their eyes and they feel like they're facing their demons. They feel
Yeah.
like, you know what, I don't want to sit still. So I would suggest close your eyes, start just listen to start with nature's music. Like that, you don't feel that you're alone. You feel that you are with the sound and the vibrations of the music and the frequency. Number two, if you cannot sit still, that is fine. Start doing motion meditation.
I've never heard of that.
So you have motion meditation where you go along with the flow of energy, right?
It's
You
kind of like
have
a
walking.
dancing.
Yes, a slow, and you also have like a guided meditation.
Yeah.
Someone is telling you what to do, where to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Then you
Mm-mm.
can channel yourself there. You can go for walking. You
Yeah.
can go to the nature. You can go to the park.
Yeah.
So now when you're in the pandemic, obviously you cannot go outside. So you can have some plants. It's okay. You can have fake plants. Buy the flowers that you like. If you don't have that, it's fine.
Yeah.
Listen to music, and you know what, journaling helps.
Mm.
So I remember when we launched gratitude, good news and guidelines in 2018. There was there are guidelines in the sense like how you can meditate, how you can ground yourself. And there is a art, like a short non-fiction story that I wrote on amygdala, like personification, that how the amygdala is the one controlling us, and
Yeah.
sometimes our mind is so strong and powerful that
Yeah.
it's playing games with us. So that's why we can't close our eyes. But when we open, look at the reality and come to centering yourself in the moment. Live in the moment. You are absolutely fine, and
Yeah.
everything around you is okay. And you're so lucky. How
Mm.
can you empower yourself? So the people who
Mm.
cannot sit for 2 minutes, the question is they need to journal. Some people hate writing. They're like, why
Mm.
the hell should I write? I'm not going to write. So, okay, you don't want to write. Do you want to speak?
Yeah.
Do you want to speak to someone else? So they don't want to do that. You know
Mm.
what some people do, Sari? They have another recording device, okay? And what they do is they record themselves. It's like they're speaking
Okay.
out loud. Now, it's not a crazy thing, but you're having an audio journal,
It's kind of like you're
okay?
talking to yourself.
Yes. So you're not talking to yourself, but you're recording yourself. So if you have, they have the cassette recorder,
Mm.
but they're external.
Yeah.
When you have interviews, when
Yeah.
journalists and everyone, they do that. So what they do is they're like, "Hi, today is Monday, and today's this. Today I went to work, and it was like that." And you picture that you're talking to that person, and you do that.
Yeah.
Slowly, you realize what you're saying to yourself. What are you
Yeah.
actually talking out? And then you can actually find a way to journal,
Ah.
because some people are not like that. It's not about that, oh, you know what? I'm going to talk in Suits, okay? It's very I this you know about a very popular series called Suits, okay? There was one character that he had, even though he's a popular lawyer, he has an audio recording of himself about every emotion. So you just have to be careful where you keep them. If somebody, that's like your asset, right? Your emotional asset. If someone finds out, and sometimes people use emotions to get back to you because you're sharing with them. That's why it is important to share with the right people. I know people that once upon a time, you share stuff with them, and then a few years later, they're like, you said this to me. I was there for you. Technically, they were not really there, they were just physically there, but okay, they were there. But when someone talks about something that is the past and, keeps reminding you about that, or something that no longer serves you, it's not a purpose, you're changed, your cell system has changed, but that person is knocking on your head and trying to put that in your head, you very well know that that person, you cannot share things with that person anymore. You have to be really, really careful of what you exactly say. And it's important that we create that safe space. I always tell people, don't be scared. Talk to people, just share with people. Now we live in a much more open-minded community. You can find your tribe. I can talk to you about stuff. Imagine talking about emotion was such a stereotypical and a taboo topic. Today we are discussing it so openly. And it is okay to have emotions. But if you're overly sensitive and reacting, okay, there you need to do something about it. But if you have some emotions, and I mean, complimenting someone, praising someone, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, and journaling. That everything is okay. The imperfection is the perfection of life.
I like that.
And happiness and sadness, and we are our roots, the human foundation has many branches of emotions, and those emotions are positive and negative. But that is what makes us human, right?
All right, Bhavna, before we wrap up today, do you have any last message for our audience?
I want to say thank you. I want to say that, always remind yourself that you're alive, and it's not about life of comparison, and, spread love and be kind to yourself and to other people as well. And, if you have any goals, if you have any dreams that you want to work on, listen to your heart and work on it. Don't, and if you have something that you want to unlearn, it is possible to unlearn, and you are born a leader, an empowered leader, whether you're a man or a woman, gender, colored skin, doesn't matter. The question is, you matter, everybody matters as well, So yeah. And thank you so much, Saree.
All right, Bhavna. I just want to
you.
acknowledge you as well for being here with me today. I really appreciate your presence, especially in this uncertainty time. I believe that if we apply the knowledge that we learned from you today, surely we can have, a happier life. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much again.
Thank you. Thank you. Sawadika.
All right, guys, if you want to know more about Bhavna's work, I'm going to leave her link in the comments below. And if you like this episode, let me know in the comment, share with your friends, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And let's see who's going to be my guest next time. Until then, take care.